Hide the Christmas tree carefully, Ellen. The children mustn't see it until this evening when it's lighted up.
Is that my lark twittering there?
Yes?
But what about the creditors?
Who cares for them? They're only strangers.
Nora! What a woman you are. But seriously, Nora, you know my principles on these points. No debts, no borrowing. Home life ceases to be free and beautiful as soon as it is founded on borrowing and debt. We too have held out bravely until now, and we're not going to give in at the last. Nora, what do you think I have here?
Money.
There. Have you thought of anything for yourself?
For myself. I don't want anything.
Nonsense. Just tell me something sensible you would like to have.
No, really, I don't know of anything. Well, listen, Torvald.
Well?
If you really want to get me something, you might, you know.
Well, out with it.
You might give me money, Torvald. Only just what you think you can spare, and then I can buy something with it later on.
What do they call the birds that are always making the money fly?
Yes, I know. Spendthrifts, of course, but
no one would believe how much it costs a man to keep such a little bird as you.
For shame, how can you say so? I save as much as ever as I can.
Well, very true, as much as you can. But that's precisely nothing.
If you only knew, Torvald, the expenses we larks and squirrels have.
How do you do, Nora?
How do you do?
I see you don't recognize me.
No, I don't think. What? Christine? Christine, I forgot that you are a widow.
Yes, my husband died 3 years ago.
Yes, I know. I saw it in the papers. Believe me, Christine, I did mean to write to you. And he left you nothing.
Nothing.
And no children?
None.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Not even a feeling of loss or sorrow.
You know, of course, that Torvald left the government service when we were married. He had little chance of promotion and he required to make more money. But in the first year after our marriage, he overworked himself terribly. He had to work early and late, and take on all kinds of extra work, and he couldn't stand it. He fell dangerously ill, and then the doctors declared he must go to the south.
And you spent a whole year in Italy, didn't you?
We did. I mean, it wasn't easy to manage, I can tell you. It was just after Ivar's birth. Of course, we had to go. It was a wonderful, delicious journey, and it saved Torvald's life, but it cost a frightful lot of money, Christine. We got it from Father.
I see. He died around that time.
Christine, what a wonderful thing it is to live and to be happy.
His business was uncertain. It fell into pieces right at his death, and there was nothing left.
And then?
Well, I had to turn my hands to anything I could find. First a small shop, then a small school. The last 3 years have seemed to be one long working day with no rest. But now it is over, Nora. My poor mother no longer needs me. She's at rest, and my brothers are in business. They can look after themselves.
Well, how free your life must feel.
No, Nora. Only inexpressibly empty. No one to live for. When I heard of the happy change in your fortunes, can you believe it? I was delighted not so much on your account as on my own.
How do you mean? Oh, I see. You think Torvald can perhaps do something for you.
Yes, I thought so.
So he shall. Christine! Oh, just you leave it all to me. You're like the rest. You all think I'm fit for nothing really serious.
Well,
You think I've had no troubles in this weary world.
my dear Nora, you have just told me all your troubles.
Pooh, those trifles. I haven't told you the great thing. I saved Torvald's life.
Saved his life? How?
I told you about our going to Italy. Torvald would have died but for that.
Well, and your father gave you the money.
So Torvald and everyone else believes, but
But what?
Papa didn't give us 1 penny. It was I who found the money.
Of course, you couldn't borrow it.
No? Why not?
Why, a wife cannot borrow without the husband's consent.
Well, when a wife knows something about business and how to set about things.
And did your husband never learn from your father that the money wasn't from him?
No, never. Papa died at that very time. I meant to have told him all about it and begged him to say nothing, but it would utterly upset the relations between us. This beautiful, happy home would never again be what it is. I don't know if you know that in business there are these things called installments and quarterly interest. They're terribly hard to provide for, and I've had to pinch a little here and there. I couldn't save much out of the housekeeping, for Torvald had to live well, and I couldn't let the children go about badly dressed. All I got for them, I spent on them, the blessed darlings.
Oh, Nora, so it had to come out of your own pocket money?
Yes, of course. After all, it was all my doing. And besides that, I made money in other ways. Last winter, I was so lucky. I got a heap of copying to do. It was splendid to work in that way and earn money. I almost felt as if I was a man.
Then how much have you been able to pay off that way?
Well, I can't exactly say. It's difficult to keep that sort of business clear. I can only tell you I have paid off everything that I could scrape together.
If you please, ma'am, there's a gentleman to speak with Mr. Helmer.
Who is the gentleman?
It is I, Mrs. Helmer.